What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome, I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is trauma, drama. Urgh! How much time and energy do you spend in a state of trauma and drama or solving problems? What if there is another way or many choices? I'm actually a medical doctor by education, by profession, and for you guys joining me, or at least my podcast for the first time. I quit medicine quite a few years ago after open heart surgery and became Access Consciousness Facilitator about 10 years ago. Also been doing Akashic Records work and have many titles, 3-day body facilitator, etc., etc. Even have a published book with a couple of other authors. Now I invite people to a different possibility with their health, with their money, relationship, through private sessions, classes, all around the world. And now let's talk about our lives. Because all my life, or at least a part of my life, I thought I didn't have a choice. That there is karma, there is dharma, there is so many things, and things happen to me. That's where the drama comes in. In actuality, nothing happens to us. We choose things. Sometimes we choose before we even came to this body. If you don't believe in reincarnation, that's fine. You don't have to. It's more about our choices. Even as a kid, if you don't believe in reincarnation, think of your childhood where you learn things and then those things became programs for you to behave, programs for you to choose, and programs for you to create your life from. Because our points of view create our reality. Right before the show started, actually, as the music started, my cats decided to go into a war zone. They facilitate me amazingly through their actions, through their kind of like things that they do. And it's literally like, how serious can you be when two cats are fighting? And I know I probably offend a lot of people right now with the war raging in Ukraine. But in reality, the governments are nothing more than cats. They are fighting over the territory. And not to judge that, it's just what is. And what if we don't buy into that trauma and drama? What if we actually look at that as, the government is choosing interesting way of relating to people? What if we choose something else? What if despite what's going on in the world, we still choose joy? We choose fun instead of buying and kind of like enmeshing ourselves into other people's judgment and buy into trauma and drama of the world. What if every single day we ask a question? Especially, well, it doesn't matter if we're feeling good or bad, asking, who does this belong to? Because we are actually, how would I say, we're SpongeBob's. If you know the cartoon, American cartoon, it's a little character in the cartoon, which is a sponge, the sea sponge. And what if we are actually like that sponge, absorb everything, all the emotions, all the feelings around the world. Well, some of us may be more or less aware of that. And some of us decide that all of that is ours. And I remember when I just started Access Consciousness, which was created by Gary Douglas and co-created with Dr. Dane Hare. And I was asking my daughter, it's like, is it yours? She's like, of course it's mine. She was 20 at that time. And it was so funny. And I'm like, okay, because you can't argue with people choices. They choose what they choose until they don't choose it, or they choose something else. And a couple of years later, we're driving together and she looks at me. She's like, Mom, I think I'm getting what you're saying about not mine. That thought was definitely not mine. And I'm like, really? I'm like, that cannot be my thought. I'm not going to go into detail what thought that was, but it was funny to see her starting to realize that 99% of feelings, thought, emotions, even pain is not ours. I was talking to her a couple of days ago and she had severe headache. Really, really. And she was in that trauma. Mom, I cannot talk to you. I need to take aspirin. I need to take ibuprofen, whatever it was. I'm like, Rach, wait a second. Who does this belong to? Because even that she known that it's probably not hers, when it hurts or where we are in the middle of trauma, we forget to ask that. Even I do that. Well, not even. I do that constantly. And then somebody else would ask, Helen, is it yours? And I'm like, oh shit, no. It's so funny because we are programmed to take everything on. And it's not a wrongness, it's just what is. And yet there are tools where we can get out of it. So with my daughter, I'm like, okay, who does that belong to? Or what does that belong to? Because sometimes we also communicate with Earth. Earth is a being just like we are. And it's alive. It doesn't communicate in words, it communicates in energy. And we all connected through the body. So she's like, oh, it's what? Oh, it's Earth. It's asking for energy. I'm like, okay. So what if you gave the energy back to Earth? And within about, I would say 2 to 5 minutes, her headache was gone. And then even knowing all the energy works, she's like, Mom, it's probably the electrolytes that I took. I'm like, yeah, right. It's so funny how we always try to explain and rationalize magic. Because magic is around us. Seriously, how often we see true magic, especially in nature, even when the flower blossoms, when we go into the forest and that quiet, that like we start feeling energized just from being in nature, especially when there are no people. Close your eyes for a second and just allow yourself to kind of like be in nature right now. Drop your barriers and see yourself, but make sure that in your picture, in your imagination, there are no people. It can be a beach on the ocean, which is on an uninhabited island somewhere in Pacific, or it can be in the woods somewhere in Amazon where there are no people, or even forest preserve here in Chicago, if you're in Chicago, or by Lake Michigan or by the ocean, wherever you live, doesn't matter. Just imagine yourself being there, it connecting to our planet. how does it feel? How does it, what, what are your thoughts? Actually, in my head, there are no thoughts. Because when I'm in the nature, there are no thoughts. There are no feelings. There is just that expansion and gratitude and being, the space of being. Why would you say, why, you would say, why would I not have thoughts? Because nature doesn't have thoughts. And as I said earlier, 99% of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions do not have, like, it's not ours. Seriously, it's not ours. And 1% might be ours, but still might be something we bought as ours. Because a lot of times we pick up those thoughts, they become our programs, we buy it and pay in our pain and suffering, in that trauma and drama in our lives. There is an interesting thing, because a lot of times we kind of react to other people, to other people's judgments, right? And that creates drama in our lives a lot of times, because majority of stuff is not what actually there. It's our thoughts and feelings and emotions about that. And how much of those thoughts, feelings, and emotions, now that we're talking about, not ours? What if those judgments that you pick up about other people, about yourself, are not yours? What if you're actually not a judgmental person? What if you're picking up judgments that people have about themselves? Because a lot of us have judgments about ourselves. Looking in the mirror, about our bodies. Oh, the hair today is not the best. Oh, I got the wrinkle. Oh, tummy is a little too big. Oh, I gained a little weight. Oh. All those O's we pick up. But when it says my stomach or I gain weight, we actually pick it up like I gain weight. It might not be true for you, but you picking up that thought, you bought it, not thinking that it's not yours. You're like, oh, I gain weight. Even that you might have lost weight, but you kind of like, I gain weight. Then the body hears that. And what does that create? The body starts gaining weight. It's amazing how we create from judgment and create that trauma and drama in our lives from even not our judgments. So what if we actually let go of that? Let's do it together. Think of something that's going on in your life right now, or maybe some thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and ask, who does this belong to? Did it light up? In my world, it did. Okay, who does this belong to? Or what does this belong to? And let's return it back. You can do it on 3 and just say, return to sender with full consciousness attached. And it's time for our first break of the show. And when we return, we'll discuss more about trauma and drama and how we create that. Instead of going into we'll go into And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is trauma, drama, but what if it's not? And before we went on the break, we were talking about that 99% of the thought, feelings, and emotion that create trauma and drama are actually not ours. And what if it's more than that? This morning I woke up and I perceived the world, like literally that angst, that gray. Right now in Chicago, there is raining. It's kind of gloomy. And of course, and it's not of course, but that's been the habit of people going into depression, even looking at the rain. What if it's not true? What if there's a saying, the weather doesn't have, the nature doesn't have bad weather, right? Because the rain, it's required by Earth. And a lot of times that type of rain, which is like drizzling and yucky and gloomy, it's exactly what Earth needs. And yet we go into judgment of that, or at least a lot of us. Instead of looking at the rain and saying, oh, wow, it's going to create more in the future. It's going to create harvest for farmers. We're going to have more food on the table, and so on and so forth. What if in our lives, same thing, when there is rain or gloomy stuff occurring or we're choosing it, what if it is a fertilizer for some future that creates more? And when I heard that from my teachers in the past, I'm like, yeah, right. Pretty much F you. And now, a few years later, I'm like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Because even looking at my surgery was a lot of complication, a lot of pain, and a lot of suffering, as I would call it at that time, and a lot of like emotions around it. I cannot work, I wouldn't be able to work, all of that. It created so much more for the future. If I didn't have it, I probably would have still worked as a medical doctor, probably would have been okay, or might have dropped dead at some point because I couldn't take it anymore. All that trauma and drama in there, because I was buying it. I didn't have the tools to say, wait, this is all fiction. this is not real. This is all virtual vibrational reality that we all characters in. And we can change the game. There is a brilliant movie called War Games. It's very old. I think it was made in the 80s. It's about a kid who kind of like hacked into Pentagon computer, which is a military computer, and started playing a game, a war game. He thought it was just a computer, like internet, because at that time internet was not as sophisticated, but he's like, oh, I found an interesting game. Maybe it's prototype. A few days later, he realized that it was actual Pentagon computer and it wasn't the game, because the country went into the kind of like, I think it was state orange. So they were like, he was playing Russia against America, America against Russia in a nuclear war game. So when he realized it was actual nuclear kind of like missiles he was playing with, he tried to get to Pentagon. And eventually he was able to, but the computer went through the whole game. The computer kind of showed the scenario where the bombs, doesn't matter who started it. In one scenario, the America started it and kind of preemptive strike, and then Russia responded, and it showed, and then Russia went first, and then America responded. In both scenarios, in multiple scenarios, the Earth got destroyed. So the computer is like, interesting. How about a nice game of chess? So what if when we're playing our games with our families, with the country, with whatever, like with our work, what if instead of taking it seriously and making a lot of significance with that, we actually look at it, interesting choice that person has, interesting choice that country created. What can I be or do different here that creates a different outcome? Just for a second, just ask that question. Look at anything in your life that's going on. Just for a second. Something disaster, something really, really bad, in your opinion. And now, what can I be with that? And just perceive the energy. What can I do here that can change this? And just allow it. Allow the universe to answer you. Don't try to find the answer, because answer always closes up possibility. Because how many answers would you get? Maybe one, maybe two, maybe five. What if the universe has infinite possibilities? Oh, wait, it does. It actually does. How many of you don't even realize that? My first encounter with creative visualization was way, way back. I found the book Shadhi Gavain, Creative Visualization. It was funny. She went on Oprah show. Well, I don't know if you still remember her show, but she was on TV and she would invite guests. I never watched her like consistently. I have no clue why I was home this morning. I think I was getting ready to go to work. And I kind of caught that show and I was like, oh, interesting. It might have been even rerun. And I went out, tried to get the book. And of course, when Oprah recommends something, it disappears from the shelves. At that time, we still had bookstores. It was before Amazon. Actually, Amazon was there as a bookstore, not as that conglomerate of everything. So it was Border. It was called Borders. And the book wasn't there. I was like, oops. They ordered it for me and I got it and I read it and I started doing a lot of things. And talking to somebody, I remember those exercises I did in the notebook that I did. And yes, everything came true exactly like I wrote. But there were a lot of things that I've created, but I missed because universe has an interesting way of filling the blanks. And some of them were not so pretty. And yet they created more. Sometimes even much more than what I asked for. So skipping forward with access consciousness, we create a little different by asking questions. What would it take to create this? Or what else is possible? How does it get any better than that? And one day, well, not one day, but I went on a vacation with a friend. And we were asking those questions. She's familiar with access consciousness, and our vacation was amazing. We were on a cruise. So to the point where I would get the dinner without cilantro, which I don't like, and allergic, and then she would get it with cilantro without even asking for it. Apparently, the waiter picked it up energetically, or the universe. But the funniest thing was, on the way back, when we checked in, our seats were A and C. There was a middle seat open, and at first, I don't remember if she said it or I said it. It's like, wait, what if somebody sits in between us? And I'm like, oh, that's okay. So let's ask, how does it get any better than that? What else is possible? And it was so funny. When we got on the plane, it was actually an experiment. Now they use it in business class in Europe or on the short flights. There was a table between the seats instead of the middle seat. So A and C actually had more space because there was no person in between. Would I be able to create that? No, because I had no idea that it existed. It actually never existed before we asked, because it was an experiment that started a week or 2 weeks before. So what if by asking questions, how does it get any better than that? What else is possible? We can create beyond our imagination, beyond our dreams, beyond our inspiration that is very limited by our kind of like existence here on this plane of existence, as a lot of people say. I'm being facetious, sorry. For spiritual people who believe in that and still trying to kind of like use this reality as the only possibility for their creation, because we can create way beyond that. And with that, it's time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about trauma, drama, Arhhh, and how we can get out of it. You've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is trauma, drama, Arhhh. In the first two parts, we were talking about, first of all, a lot of the thoughts, feelings, and emotion, and even drama, not ours. So we can ask the question, who does it belong to? And send it back to the sender. It's the same with the planet and sending the energy to the planet. And in the second part, we were talking about creation, that we can create beyond this reality, not just picking up from other people and creating just based on what we see, what we can imagine, but beyond that, with kind of like trauma and drama. Let's talk a little bit about something else. What if trauma and drama are there just like the rain we talked about in the second part, is what's required for our growth, that we're choosing that. Maybe choosing it based on that it will create something else. Just like in the beginning of the show, actually right before the show, when the music started, my cats decided to fight and created a lot of havoc in the room, kind of like, Wah! It was very short, very sweet, kind of like they hissed at each other and they ran away. But it gave me an awareness of that's how we are in the world. They facilitated the change that's required. My choosing to react that way, or actually act instead of react, created probably more, at least for me, because I'm like, ooh, I don't actually have to react to other people fighting. I can still choose me. I can choose what I like. And as soon as I got it, they stopped. They walked away. What if all of that, as soon as we get an awareness of something, as soon as we kind of learn from that, it disappears? Or when we're willing to be that energy that's required, that trauma and drama is calling us to create. Just like I talked about my open heart surgery, it called me to create some life totally different. Life based on joy instead of trauma and drama, even the other people's drama. Because I was so much into my work, so much into my family drama, people's drama at work, the world drama. I had no idea who I was anymore at a certain point. When I got my divorce, I realized I have no idea who I am or what I am. Not even withstanding the definitions that I am a mother, I am ex-wife, I'm an ex-doctor, I am this, I am that, I am this. All of that were just definitions. They were not who I was or who I am now. And by the way, that changes. Who I was even at the beginning of the show is not who I am right now. It's willingness to be all of that, not being stuck, oh, I am that, and keep proving that I am right to be that. I am right to be a mother. I am right to be a good mother, or I am right to be this or that. Whew, wow. Did you notice how heavy all of that is? And by the way, if you never listened to any of my podcasts, I have, I think, over 100 now of audio videos. I've been doing it for over 2 years now, almost 2.5 now. It's really, we talked about that what's true for you is light. And the heaviness is always, always a lie. So how much of those definitions are just basically lies? What if we don't have to have a definition to be who we are? What if we actually destroy and uncreate everything we were that second ago? Just allow it to kind of like create yourself new every 10 seconds. I guess 10 seconds is just the excess term of that live for a day or change every second. 10 seconds is just an easy mark, I would say, of not to get kind of like hooked up into this reality. If we live our lives in 10 seconds increments, it stops being that significant, that traumatic, that, oh, my life sucks, all of that. What if we be grateful for everything? Did you notice how the energy just light up when I said that? Let me say it again. What if we be grateful for every moment of our lives? Did you notice that? It's light for me. It might not be light for you. It might be a lie for you. Maybe truth for you is trauma and drama. Maybe truth for you is suffering. Maybe that's what you're choosing. And that's kind of like you, no, that's too heavy now. Nobody likes suffering. Because I was going to say, maybe you like suffering. Or maybe some people actually do like suffering. Part of it might be their programming. Part of that might be guilt that stems from 5,000 years ago, where they might have did something. Is that relevant right now? That 5,000-year guilt that you've been carrying throughout the 5,000 years, and maybe even multiple dimensions, multiple planets. It probably wasn't even on this planet. And you still carry the sentence with you, the sentence of punishing yourself. Wow, that's very cute. Not very bright. I'm just saying, what if we just let it go? What if we stop allowing our karma and dharma and all the past lives, or even childhood or previous relationships, dictate of how we will or will not act? What if we stop reacting and start acting and being? What would that choose? What would we choose, and what will that create in our lives? I wonder how much of trauma and drama will disappear and will be just that rain outside. Because what if we don't have to choose to be out in the rain without the umbrella and without the coat? Because that's what we do with trauma and drama. We see it and we rush out into the rain without anything, without kind of like asking question, what will create greater? What if being at home and just enjoying the warmth of the heater and talking to you guys creates more than trying to fight the rain? Just saying. What if we don't have to fight the rain? And can we fight the rain? Or is it a useless battle that we try to prove that we are pathetic and cannot win against the universe? Oh, that, that's cute. I'm just getting it out of your heads. So you like fighting against the thunderstorms, against the nature, against everything, just to prove that you're not great. But what if you are great? What if you don't have to fight that? What if you can create something different? Something only you can create. Only you are capable and able to create in this world that actually can change the world. It won't stop the rain, but maybe you can plant some flower that will kind of like grow and flourish with that rain. And it will create our world a little bit more beautiful if you choose to. What if by asking question, how does it get any better than that and what else is possible, would actually plant those seeds of flowers, trees, that will create something different tomorrow? Maybe we might not even see it with our eyes, but maybe we will be aware of how it shifts and changes the world. And time flies. It's our third and final break of the show. And we'll still have like about 10 minutes after the break. So you will be, you are listening, wow, I cannot even talk anymore. You're listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is trauma and drama. Arrhh. And I just want to remind you, this is not the end. Every Wednesday, the podcast Creating Abundance with Ease is going on at 11 o'clock Central, I guess it's Standard Daylight Saving Time. Eastern Time will be 12 o'clock, and I guess California is 9 a.m. And you can find out about your time on the website. And next week, the show is actually going to be in Russian. It's similar topic, trauma, drama, oi. And it might or might not be same content, because the content depends on the audience. Whoever is listening right now or watching or will be watching in the future, that's where all the information is coming from. So even if you don't understand Russian, I welcome you to join the podcast, because it's about energy. A lot of times, if you don't get the information logically through your brain, it works sometimes even better, because it bypasses all the resistance that we have that the logic dictates. Just saying, you don't have to listen in your native language. And actually, right after the podcast, at least today, Rachel Silber and I, she's also facilitator of Access Consciousness, we're doing clearings for change. It's every day, or as we call it, daily clearings for change in 4 languages, in English, Spanish, Russian, and Hebrew. It's about half an hour, and it's going on in the group, Being You Without Hiding on Facebook group, as well as in Telegram chat for Russian-speaking people, Elena Gitlevich in Ukraine and по всему миру. So you can join either or in the chat, because Facebook has been cut off from Russia. Apparently, they do not allow Instagram or Facebook right now. Unless you have a VPN, you cannot get on Facebook. So we are doing those clearings for change, both in Facebook and in the chat. Also, classes coming up. There is going to be a bars class. I think it's in May. There's going to be foundation in Russian. That's going to be on the 15th of April. Also 3-day body class that starts on 8th of April, 8 through 10. And there are requirements, prerequisites before you can take foundation or body class, but bars does not have any prerequisites. There is also ongoing How to Become Money workbook in Russian. Oh, bars class is May 1st, thank you. And it just, magic is everywhere. Access consciousness classes allow you to pretty much let go of your limitations. And if you never had your bars run, please do, because it's an amazing. I love it because it's relaxing. Well, it's not always relaxing, but it does let go of a lot of limitations. So with trauma and drama, a lot of times with those tools of access consciousness, all of that starts getting less and less. It affects us less and less. Because a mantra of access is all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And it doesn't mean that we have everything peachy and easy. No, it's all of life comes to me, to us with ease, joy, and glory. It's about our attitude, not creating trauma and drama, but looking at everything from the point of view, interesting. Just like this rain right now. You look outside, it's like, Yeah, it's raining. What will create more? Do I go out in the rain, but I'll get an umbrella, or I'll drive my car in the rain and go to the store? What will create greater? And this way, we're actually looking at the energy. If it's light to go out in the rain, why not? Maybe we learn something. Maybe we choose something. Maybe we'll meet somebody that will create something different for us. What if each interaction between us is just that, learning and having fun? What if it's all about enjoying every second, having just plain joy and gratitude for everything? How much our life would be different? How much our life would be really is joy and glory if we stop reacting and started acting. And by the way, by acting, I don't mean to be a doormat and saying, oh, you can abuse me and I'll be nice to you. I'm a holy person. I am enlightened person, and you can step on me and I'll tolerate it. Fuck no. If you hurt me, I'm going to kill you. That's the energy of allowance. And we'll talk more about allowance in our future shows, but also I've talked a lot about allowance in the prior shows. You can listen to the podcast, and by the way, they are all over. They are on 250 audio platforms or stations, including iTunes, Spotify, Apple podcast, I think, YouTube, and also about 50 TV stations, including Binge TV, which is a cable TV. You can just search it on Smart TV. You can find Binge TV, or on the internet. Just search it under Creating Abundance with Ease, or under Helen Gitlevich, or under Inspired Choices Network, and then you search Helen Gitlevich. We have you can pretty much just enjoy your life. We have only a couple of minutes left, and I just want to remind you, you can find me pretty much on most of the social media platform, Facebook, same, Creating Abundance with Ease, or Helen Gitlevich. Connect with me through email, through my website, creatingabundancewithease.com, Access Consciousness website. You can email me, you can message me, telegram me. There's so many ways. If you have any questions, you can contact me. Probably email is not the fastest, because at this moment I have about 600 of them, because I didn't check them for a couple of days. Email is not the fastest, but text, call, and WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So love you all. We still have about a minute. And during that minute, I would like to kind of like remind you of the tool, who does it belong to. So with that, just drop your barriers, look at all your thoughts, feelings, and emotions right now in your head, and let's ask together, who does this belong to? And let's return it back to sender. And once more, who does this belong to? And return it back to sender. Thank you so much. And I'll see you, or you'll hear me next week, same place, same time, or somewhere else where we're playing.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.